want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through.
If you only want me to stay a while, I can stay a while too.
Baby, if you want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through. stay the night through.
If you only want me to stay a while, I can stay a while too.
Baby, if you want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through.
If you only want me to stay a while, I can stay a while too. If you only want me to stay a while, I can stay a while. I can stay a while. I can stay a while. I can stay a
Want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through.
If you only want me to stay a while, I can stay a while too.
there was ever a time to live united, it is now. Now is the time to speak with one voice, to build up, not tear down. It's time to join hands and live united against the problems that keep our communities from thriving. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you? Volunteer or donate now at unitedway.org.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode right here, The Booth 312, located in good old Chicago, the home of house music. We're broadcasting from WIT 88.9 FM and DaBoothRadio.com. So hopefully you guys are doing all right today. The weather's actually bearing with us for once. A little cloudy, a little dark, but, you know, overall we can't complain compared to what we've had. So definitely hopefully you guys are enjoying a wonderful day. We had a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
You can be multitask.
We got a lot of stuff that's been going on this weekend, and hopefully you guys aren't too partied out and trying to recover today on Sunday. But it's okay. You guys can kick back, relax at home or wherever you're at. Tune in to us, and we'll bring those sounds to you so you don't have to get up, get out, and get in an accident after all that drinking from this weekend. But it's all right. So we got a great guest and a great show for you guys lined up today. You okay there, Ron? Yeah. You see Ron here. He's just swinging back and forth there. If you guys get a chance to see him on TV here, he's just flip-flopping here, trying to multitask and handle everything. See, that's the thing. You guys are interested. We are looking for interns right now if you guys are in school and you're looking to get into radio broadcasting or media broadcasting. We are accepting internships. Check us out at rtwentertain.com and check out at the bottom there for the jobs careers. And you guys could apply to be an intern here for the show. We're looking for a lot of talented young students, young and old. I mean, there's people that are starting off in the older years and, trying to make something for themselves. So why not give it a try right here? So if you want to get into radio broadcasting, if you're in the media arts, we're looking for assistants. Yours truly, RTW, DJ RTW, Rob Waite. We're more than happy to train you and work with you and show you what we do here on for our live segments and all the artwork and everything. And I'd be more than happy to learn some new stuff that you guys are learning in school. So we work hand in hand together on this. But get into the media and the arts and everything. So R. Kelly, I'm kind of laughing. He's struggling right now with everything going on. He's trying to make every dollar he can make right now. He's trying to make because he's got to pay these lawyers to try to keep him out of jail or keep him, get him out as soon as possible. So he tried going to India, and Dubai, India has turned him down, said he is not allowed in India. He cannot perform there. They do not want him. So that's another strike for him trying to get that dollar. But again, like I said before, I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was in Germany. He did perform there with open arms. They welcomed him, and they were happy to have him there. So there are some countries that are still, inviting him and welcoming him, even though of everything going on with him and his past and current histories. But, hey, if the guy's got to make money, if the court's letting him travel like that, well, God bless him. Let's see what happens. I can't make the judgment until judgment has been reigned. But, I'm not a judge. I'm not sit there going to and denounce the guy if I don't know the truth on everything. Media can post anything, and that's one thing we talk about all the time. You see this on social media all the time. People can read and say whatever they want. And I love how people are always the first to jump on everything. You see a story, it's just a simple picture, and people start blasting everyone. That's the worst person in the world, this and that. And then about a month down the line, you get the whole video that comes out, or you get the whole picture or something that's like, oh, now I'm not going to say nothing because here's the truth. So people just jump to conclusions without knowing the full facts all the time.
I still don't get the facts of how Officer Van Dyke only gets 8 years, but then other people have committed more heinous crimes or less heinous crimes than he did and get 25 years in prison.
Here's the thing, and not to defend the guy. I'm not defending the guy in this, but I will defend this in the sense that a lot of people may blame, say it's the guy, or they may say it's the judge. But you know what? It really isn't. It's the law. If you look at the law, that, depending on the crime, there's mandates on certain crimes. Those laws need to be changed. The law for a less heinous crime, you can get a longer sentence for versus a more heinous crime. So, yeah, I know you're confused on it. If you look at the laws, and that's what the judges have to go by. So if you really look at it, that's what they have to change. So let's say a rape charge or a murder charge can hold less.
Let's stick with the same. Let's stick in the same venue of what happened. I mean, Officer Van Dyke shot this teenager 18 times. That is, by all intents and purposes, intent to kill. Okay. Now, and I'm not saying that one person's evil is lesser than the other, but when you have the gentleman that killed the young female that was a performer at the Obama inauguration, I know you heard that story. They killed her, or he was a boyfriend, I guess. He killed her. He didn't shoot her 18 times, but he's looking at 25 to life, where Officer Van Dyke shot this teenager 18 times with the intent to kill, and he gets 8 years. That part does not equal 1 + 1 does not equal 2.
I get you.
It's still a murder as a murder, and for him to get 8 years and only see more likely 4 of those years in prison behind bars, to me that's an injustice.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And again, like I said, I'm not justifying his actions by any means. Trust me, by any means.
We should have a police officer come in or a lawyer come in and break this down for our audience.
I'll be honest with you, even if we did that, then there'd be this, judgment as, was that the right police officer because they may be one-sided? Was that the right lawyer because they may be one-sided?
Okay. Bring in a couple.
I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong.
Let's have two of them, two lawyers and an officer.
Yeah.
Sit in, one right side, one left side, and let's talk.
Well, I'm happy you brought up the Van Dyke case because that goes to, the big argument in Chicago right now is the mayoral race. This will be
really not a race. It's just
it's a race in the sense of this is going to be the I believe this is for history. This is our first black female that's going to be mayor, right?
Yes.
And we've had one black male.
We've had one female prior.
And one female, but this will be the first black female for Chicago. And so there's no argument in that because, if it was a white female or a white male, there'd be the argument of race, between the two. So right now, one of the arguments that I'm seeing is obviously Toni Preckwinkle is highly known for raising taxes. She pushed the tax on soda. She pushed so many taxes in the city of Chicago. She has the nickname Taxwinkle. So everyone's going for that. Though those that are going for her are saying that she was great because of the Van Dyke case, and this is where it goes into what you mentioned about Van Dyke because she pushed to bring the video out, this and that. But most of the people don't really know that she was actually pushing not to say anything. She was told behind the cameras that you need to jump on this because this is coming out, so you better be forefront to say, look, I'm the one that supported to push this out. Actually, no, she wasn't, but this is what they're using. Now, people are going against Lightfoot, saying that she was pro-police and she tries to help the police, and
Well, she was a district attorney, wasn't she?
exactly, and that's what they say. She was state's attorney, and she was for the police, pro-police. So we have a lot of people that are against Lightfoot because she's pro-police versus against the police because of all the issues with the police right now. So, you know, I mean, people can't win no matter what. There's always going to be something, you know, going after someone for something. They're going to try to find every little thing they can. So, yeah, let our guest know. He can, well, tell him. Get on the guest know.
I mean, you could keep going. I didn't push a pause button, but obviously the pause button gets pushed. I was letting our guest know if he wants to chime in. We have Sean Smith, the smooth agent in the building, and I'm just letting him.
Smooth operator?
Well, it almost came out, smooth operator. When you hear him on the Dex play, you'll understand why I almost said smooth operator. But yes, we got Sean Smith in the house, and I was just letting him know, ladies and gentlemen, that he could chime in. He's a guest here, and the way we do it here at the booth is, you know, our guests are able to wage in the conversation if they feel they would like to, and I'm just letting him know that he's more than welcome to chime in, because he had this look on his face like,
Well, Sean, this isn't your first time on radio. I mean, you've been on radio before, so, you know, I mean, is this your first time being on TV, though, or?
No.
Okay, well, then there you go. You got no excuse, then.
And he's wearing the best team shirt that is in Chicago.
Hey, as soon as I saw that, I liked the guy. I didn't even have to meet him anymore. I saw the shirt. I said, okay.
There you go.
He's a keeper. I like this guy.
I mean,
those socks.
I'll see some. I saw a guy yesterday wearing a Green Bay Packers pullover, and I was just like, man, you need to take that off. Seriously, you're walking around in this town with a Green Bay Packers shirt on. I'm sorry. I can see.
But a lot of Green Bay Packer fans are Sox fans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would be Cub fans because they're North.
That's what I would think too. But a lot of them, the ones I've met, a lot of them are Sox fans. So I don't know, man.
That's like taking, I don't know, like taking jelly and Jello and putting it together. But needless to say, we got Sean Smith in the house. Welcome to the booth.
All right, thanks for having me.
And you know, in your lovely wife, who I've met at. For those that don't know, the Smooth Agent is on 88.9. Triton College's 88.9 WRRG, if I said that right. Yeah. With my cousin Darius, or Bolo, and we're happy to have him here, and we're diligently working to unite both radio stations. But that's something for Rob and the bigwigs to talk about offline. But I'm just putting it out there, you know. But yeah, it would be nice to have a merger down the road where both stations can interact with one another. And this is how we do it on the smaller end. We bring them over to us, and they brought us over to them. So I'm happy to have Sean in the studio today, and welcome again, and to you and your wife.
Thanks for having us.
So
yeah, big difference, being here when it's still light out versus being there overnight, huh?
Yes. And normally when I get to the station, it is pitch black. And it is very much in the middle of the day here.
Yeah. We're some early day folks here, you know. But you know, like I said, welcome to the station, and look forward to hearing you play. We're going to interview Sean a little bit later on in the segment. But Rob, I heard that you were with Mr. Beto Rosales.
Yeah, Friday night we were throwing down at Angie's Lounge in Berwyn. It was a great time. Started off a little slow, but people started rolling in late, and it was a great event. People were jamming out to the house sounds. Again, it falls true that, you know, Southsiders, you know, and Berwyn is still technically Southside. They're not. They're up. They're going north, but they're
west
not.
Side.
Yeah, it was Southwest. But it's the Southsiders mentality there, where they like the old school. So you start trying to play anything new, they start to frown on it. But you feed them a little bit here and there. So we're trying to get that, and that's where the whole concept where house music is dead. It's not dead. It's just that our Southsiders and South and Southeast Siders primarily refuse to accept the new house. They're so stuck in their old ways. They're time warped. They refuse to get out of that time warp and come out and appreciate the new house. It's just they're stuck on the old school house. Sean, what do you believe? I mean, I want to get your opinion on it. What do you think?
I mean, I agree that a lot of our pockets of people in Chicago are kind of stuck into the past. But I think that has a lot to do with our radio stations and stuff here. I'm talking about one thing that I've noticed for someone who's been in Chicago for a long time. We had WBMX. It was like right before the new sound of house music came out. That's when WBMX, when the mixes kind of folded.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a critical time. If we could have lasted maybe a couple of more years, when the Masters at Work stuff started coming out, a lot of the Strictly, the Nervous stuff, I think things would be a little different. But for us who are into the house scene, we were clubbing. So all that music was played here.
Well, the 80s had WBMX, and then towards the 90s, we started looking more into the college stations, kind of helped that buffer line before it was picked up again through B96 with the Mix Masters and everything on there. Which was hitting in the 90s. So we had that buffer in the college radio stations where there's more of the underground sound. And then it got picked up on B96, like I said, and then it carried on for a little bit in the 90s, and then it fell off again. So the biggest reason that we're being told that it's not being played on the mainstream radio stations is because people are not calling the stations requesting house music songs. Regardless if it's old school or new school, not enough people are calling. Everyone's calling for hip hop. That's all they want to hear is hip hop. And that's why we're not hearing it on the mainstream stations right now. So according to those bigwigs that don't get out of that box and they're stuck in that box, they say house music is dead because we're not getting calls on it.
Well, you know, to me, that's a farce, because a person doesn't want to call, a house music connoisseur doesn't want to call in and hear one track. You know, they don't want to hear one track. They want to hear a mix. You know, house music is appreciated by the flow, how the DJ flows with the music. If the DJ can, it's like a person presenting a presentation. If the DJ is a presenter, and your presentation is what goes over with the crowd. So to play one track that's a hit, you're teasing a house head. So if I call in and I say, yes, I want to hear Time to Jack. Okay, you play Time to Jack, one track by Chip E, and then all of a sudden it's over, and then you go back to making a floss.
Mush mouth, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, how do you can't really appease the crowd that you're trying to say, well, they're not calling in. Put on a house music mix at noon. And then you can follow it up with a hip hop mix.
Well, you know, and that's another thing is, you know, there are stations that still do the house mixes and everything. You know, but it's again, a lot of times it's stuck on the old school lunchtime mix and everything. So again, they're stuck with only the old school. There are no new school mixes, no new school house mixes. I don't care. You know, I love all house. I don't care if it's the subgenre of tech house, soulful, tribal, electro, progressive, so on and so forth. Look, it's house music, but we're so stuck on the old school aspect. And so I agree with you though. You know, they need to start playing more of the house mixes. But again, this is what you know, all the big shots, all the big wigs of the stations are saying. We're not getting the calls of recommendation. So if people start calling and saying, "Hey, we'd like to hear house mixes," then maybe they'd start doing something about it, because now they're getting the call for it, the need for it. So I don't know, you know, there's that fine line, because mainstream, and this has been an old school thing. This is nothing new. Mainstream wants to control. They want to control house music, and they can't. They know they can't do that. They can't control it because it's ever changing, ever evolving, and they can't lock on like they've done with jazz, with blues, rock, you know, hip hop. They control that, and then they control the people behind it, so they can control the listeners.
Okay,
they can't do that with house music.
So let's do a challenge then, everybody out there. Let's do a challenge. Who's up for the challenge? Okay, here's a challenge. Let's call in any day of this week. Rob, you call in on a Monday, or I'll call in on Monday. You call in on a Tuesday, whatever. We'll pick each day. One of us is going to call in to one of the major stations. And I'm going to request house music. And I'm going to ask for it.
I'm down for it.
I guarantee you this is going to be the response. We don't play house music. Or
And my response is going to be, well,
Why not?
You guys are playing in Chicago, right? You're broadcasting in Chicago? Okay. Well, that's the birthplace. I want house music.
yeah, and this is the challenge. Everybody out there, pick a day, call in, request house music on the big three. You know, I'm not going to name. I don't think we should be naming their radio stations
don't
on the
have to.
air. But
People know
call,
who they are.
Call one of the big three, and request some house music. And I guarantee you, somebody's going to tell you, "Nah, man, you can't get that," or "Yeah, we'll get to it," and they never do during their segment. Then the next hour is going to come, and somebody's going to their show is going to be on, and you could call in then, and and you could say the same thing. Hey, last hour I requested house music. Can we get some house music? I guarantee you're going to keep getting pushed to the right. I guarantee you. And then our phone lines are open. If you do it, call in next week and let us know what they told you. I mean, I'm seriously going to do it, and I'm going to report next week what I was told. Yeah, we'll put some on, and I guarantee you they're not going to put it on. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And there goes the for the bigwigs. I say if no one's calling in to request it, okay, let's call in and request it. Everybody out there, all the DaBooth312 fans and followers watching on YouTube and all of our many other Ustream sites. If you're here in the Chicagoland area, or even if you're not, if you're in Baltimore, if you're in California, if you're in Paris, and I know in Paris they play house music. So,
well, that's the thing. In UK, they do.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Paris, Croatia, Germany, London, Britain. They play it. They have stations that play house music.
Yep.
They play the new school and occasionally play the old school. But they're always pushing the new school music. It's the U.S., but most of all, the most important is Chicago. Chicago should be playing it out and keep playing house music and keep bringing the new stuff and occasionally bringing the old stuff as well. Keeping that alive as well. But it's the sad part. We don't. We don't push blues like we should either. Blues starting here in Chicago, we don't push blues. And I say this all the time when I get into conversations about music. Well, yeah, in the summertime. But there's a short time frame for that, and that's it. We don't push it as much. I get into conversations when I get into conversation about music. People when they start talking about jazz and blues. Well, I'm more of a blues fan. I always have been.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that one of the reasons is because house music is pretty much owned or put out by independent labels and is not controlled by major labels?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier too. Is that's why the major stations, we know they're only owned by a couple major conglomerates, and I'm not going to get into who they are. But that's the thing. They can't control it. They can't control it like they do with hip hop and other genres. They can't control house music. So they can't, make it what they want to make it. So that's why they usually don't want to mess with it. They figure, well, if I don't touch it, you're not going to be big. Well, guess what's going to be big regardless. But yeah, that's the biggest problem with these mainstreams. They don't want to touch it because they can't control it. If they can't control you, they don't want to mess with you because they don't know what can happen. And that is the biggest problem with it. And that's why house music isn't pushed as well here in the U.S. And again, I have to stress that it's here in the U.S. because in Europe, overseas, they have that passion, they have the love for it, and they do support it.
But don't you think it's sad that the music actually comes from Chicago, comes from the U.S., but it's not getting the love in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, I've always said that's sad.
I won't
that really is.
I won't go as far. I'm going to disagree with you, Sean, on that one because the house music gets a lot of love.
I'm not saying from house music fans, but I'm saying by radio.
Okay, depending on where, because in Baltimore, some of their major stations will play. They'll do like how it was about 10 years ago. Put a noon mix on by a local DJ favorite, and they'll bring them on the radio station to play a little house music during a special segment. But they won't play it like how it used to be done here back in the day, where Friday and Saturday nights till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, the three big stations were playing house music, and you could catch your favorite DJ on this station or that station or whatever. You don't have that anymore. So I'll agree it's not being done like it used to be. I think it would be that way if the demand was there. The demand being not just from folks in our age group, but the youth. Now, the youth that listens, that follow, especially the bigger crowd that follows EDM, they look at their music as being something that, well, I don't really like regular radio. I listen to Spotify or what's the other online thing that you could set whatever. What is it called again?
Well, then we got a lot of podcasting.
Yeah,
podcasting is the biggest, one of the biggest things right now.
Right. I can listen to my favorite DJ anytime and every time without having to go to the major network. And for those folks, that's why that music is considered underground in a way, because it's not mainstream. When it could be, it should be, but because they're not hearing it enough on the radio stations in their local area, now I can go to my podcast or stream it, you know.
Okay.
But we didn't have that back in the day. We had to listen to what Lil Lewis, Chippy, when they were on GCI or those other stations, when they were playing live, we were hearing what they were playing at the club on radio.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people could say, well, would it be a different thing if house music came out during this time and era with all the different ways that you can listen to it? That's a good question.
I don't think it would be the same now, though, because I feel like today the music is so far apart from where it used to be. Because when you used to go out in the 80s, everybody was playing house. You go to the industrial clubs, they were playing house music. And then even on the south side, they played some industrial or some different stuff. Now everything is like a million miles apart from each other. And I think that's probably where the problem lies. And then also it's the way that we categorize house. A lot of stuff that they list as house isn't really house. It's more EDM, you know. And now you got so many genres. You got house music, soulful house, tech house, Afro house, all these different genres. When we used to go to the record store and everything would be on the wall.
It just had two genres that I remember: house and acid house.
Yes.
You had those are the only two genres that you had back in the day.
And then some stuff started getting classified more as techno, and then later on changed to be a deep house or a hard house. I'm sorry, hard house.
Hard house.
So it got
Then
changed
Jack
into
and House.
Jack and House. So it got reclassified, and we've talked about that once before on the radios about the classifications and who decides these classifications. Because we'll look at some of these sites that you can go, Beatport and all them, Juno, all that, and it's you listen to the song like, no, that's not soulful house, and no, that's not this. It's like, who's deciding the classification? And we've had that argument before with artists and labels that say it's classified as this, and then you go onto one of these sites and they reclassify it as something different.
Well, it depends on the site, like you said. For example, TrackSource is one source that I like to use a lot, and stuff that I would put in a tech house folder is considered techno. Stuff that I would consider deep house, I'm looking at and I'm hearing it and I'm like, that sounds more soulful than deep house.
Yeah.
So if TrackSource being one of the major distributors decides, you know what, this sounds more this, and they change it, they're going to be the ones that are going to be spearheading and leading the way on the classification of the genre. And it goes back to the artist again. If the artist says, no, don't put my track in, I don't want it to be classified as tech house. I want it to be in the jackin' house. I wonder how much pull or how much respect to the artist that TrackSource would give them. Because between the record label and the artist can sit back and say, this is the genre I would like to have. Our guest here, Sean Smith, is a producer. And if he sits back and he says, all right, I'm going to make a deep house track, but it winds up in TrackSource as a jackin' house track, that can affect him. Why? Because maybe some of his fans may not look at his stuff as a jackin' house groove. They may look at it as a deep house groove. So if you're telling all your folks, hey, my stuff's on, my music made the TrackSource top 100, and they go in the deep house because that's what in their mindset they're thinking, hey, that's what Sean Smith, the smooth agent, makes. But then they look him up and he's not in there.
Yeah.
Then they search him and he comes up in Jackin' House. They're gonna be like, oh, I wouldn't have never looked in Jackin' House because that's not what I'm used to hearing his sound
Yeah.
as a Jack and House sound. So I would love to have a person from Track Source come on the show and tell us how they sit back. Now, if it's the artist and the label,
I can actually, since I do run a label, Smooth Agent Records. When we submit our stuff to Track Source, they list it as they see fit.
See,
So
that's the
exactly what
problem.
we're talking about. All right, guys. When we come back, we're going to be getting into a live mix by our guests. So stick around right here for more to come on the Booth 312 broadcast from WIT 88.9 FM and theboothradio.com.
And if we're still playing around, boy, that's just start. Let's get excited, and we just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. No, I know, I want you. Oh boy, I want to love you, feel you. I wrap myself around you. I want to squeeze you, release you. I just can't get enough. And if you move real slow, I let it go. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I know, I want to. I'm about to lose control. 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 I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. We shouldn't even think about sweet memories will last a long. We'll have a good time, baby, don't. And if the world's still playing around, boy, let's get excited. And we just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I want you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
All right, guys, as we promised, we got Sean Smith in the house. He's the smooth agent, and we're going to learn a little bit about Sean Smith here. So, Shawnee, thank you again for coming on the show today, man. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. So, earlier you were mentioning about your label. So, you actually have your own label. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the label?
Well, my label is called Smooth Agent Records. We started the label in 2003. Myself with Arturo with Agent AA. I'll put it that way. Agent AA.
Okay.
Sean Smith and Agent AA.
All right. So, what got you to want to start this label up?
Well, pretty much, I always felt as a DJ, I could hear songs when they were brand new, and I can tell if they were going to be a hit or if everybody was going to gravitate towards them.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons why we started Smooth Agent. And also, I was an artist at the time. I was starting doing tracks and stuff, and I wanted to have an outlet to put out my music. But after doing it, like I say, in 2019, where we are now, I understand a lot more than I did then, but I'm definitely glad of the education that I got.
Oh, that's great. So, you started the label, but let's go back even further. What got you into actually music to want to DJ?
Actually, I always liked electronic sounds. I had an uncle that he would buy me Parliament albums and things like that, and I always loved electronics. And I guess I got into BMX. I used to like Yazoo, and I used to love those sounds. So I always kind of gravitated towards that.
All right. So how long you been actually DJing then?
I started DJing in 1984.
84, okay. Oh, nice. So you definitely got a lot of years behind your belt then doing this. Has it been nonstop, playing? Or?
Pretty much nonstop.
Okay. All right. Well, what would you say is your favorite genre to produce, to make?
I would say soulful house.
Okay.
But as a Chicago DJ, I like a lot of different genres of house music, from the soulful house to the disco house, and also to even some of the jackin' house, and even some tech house and acid house. But one of the DJs I had gravitated towards. I used to really hear a lot of Ron Hardy tapes and Frankie Knuckles tapes.
Okay.
And one of the things that I always liked about them is that they didn't stick to one specific sound. And I feel like a lot of times with Ron Hardy, a lot of people get stuck in that time, but they don't understand, he was playing disco, he was playing acid house, he was playing industrial, he was playing the BMX, the Italo stuff.
He took you for a ride.
Yeah, he took you for a ride. And pretty much a lot of other DJs in other places around the city of Chicago were doing the same thing. But I kind of feel like a lot of us have gotten away from that. It's like we only say we're doing soulful house, we're only doing Afro house, or we're only doing disco, And to me, house music is a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. So up to now, what would you say one of your highlights of your career as far as being the music, DJing, producing aspect, what would you give as one of your highlights currently in your career?
I think I have several of them. One of the tracks that we released that we put out that went very, very big for us. I was actually a part of. I don't know if you heard of the Natalie Cole Tell You All About It. But I was the one that did the edits. Me and DJ Pap. We did those as C-Mall. It was supposed to be Chicago Men at Work, and it was produced by a DJ Quad.
Okay.
And it went under the name Alan Smithy and Blue Blackness. And that record did very, very big. Everybody around the world was playing it. And I think maybe 5 years after it came out, they even started playing it on Chicago radio here.
Yeah, I still love it myself. It's great track. So great job on it. You guys definitely did a great job. So where do you see yourself in the future going as far as the music aspect?
I'm producing a lot more music, putting out more music. But at this time, I'm DJing and I'm trying to get back out to traveling because I have done some traveling. I have went to Japan several times, played in Canada, LA, New York, and I want to do more of that. But at the same time, I feel like I am still supposed to educate people here in Chicago.
What advice would you give to DJs, local DJs that are trying? Because I've met a few. I'm not going to name any names, but I've met a few DJs locally that are very hungry to get outside of Chicago to play. What advice would you give them? Because I've given some advice to some of those DJs because they came to me and said, well, man, I noticed you played on the East Coast and, have you ever played out of the country? And I'm like, yes, but they're set to get out of the state, but they're not known within their own city. But what advice would you give those DJs?
I would say work on your craft. Be the best that you can be. And don't let social media affect you, because I kind of feel like now with social media, you have people saying, okay, well, you're not playing for these big crowds, then you're nobody. But you don't realize that there's a lot of politics and inner workings with that. And a lot of people don't see that. There's a lot of things that have happened in our own city, Chicago, that has really taken house to another level. But you have certain people who are being seen at this time. And there's nothing against them, but it's like now you really have to keep putting your name out there. You have to keep doing mixes. You have to keep doing releases if you do releases. You have to keep putting yourself out there because you got so many people that are trying to do the same thing.
We actually have to work?
Yes.
We can't just do one Facebook mix and say, hey, I'm the greatest DJ in the world and everyone's going to love me?
Nope. There are thousands of DJs. And now you have the people who are the dancers. They're the DJs. And the people who throw the parties, they are the DJs now. So you got more critics now, so to speak.
I hear you. All right, so how can we find out more about Sean Smith, the Smooth Agent?
Well, for Sean Smith, like I say, you can check out Smooth Agent Records. You can check out djseansmith.com. I do a DJ set at Brown's Lounge every Wednesday. That's 2301 West Chicago. And also I play on WRRG 88.9. I do a Monday show with DJ Bolo, and we also do a Saturday night show as well.
All right.
So are there any websites that folks out there that are not in the Chicagoland area that are listening where they can go check you out? Are you on Mixcloud or SoundCloud?
Yes, I'm on SoundCloud, Smooth Agent Records on SoundCloud. We're Smooth Agent on Mixcloud and Sean Smith on Podomatic.
Okay. And last but not least, for those out there who are maybe new to your sound, are you open to working with other record labels, collaborations?
Yes.
Okay. Because we have some good friends over at Careless Records that have sent their tracks into us, and we have them in the rotation as well. So would love to introduce you to those guys over at Careless Records.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
That's what it is. The networks of love, and we're trying to bring the unity here. So hopefully you'll join us on the bandwagon of the unity so we can keep promoting house music and bring the unity back to Chicago in the house music scene. So hopefully we can do that with you, Sean.
Yes, you can. And I totally agree. That's what we need. We need unity.
Big
we
time.
need everybody to come together, no matter black, white, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, whatever.
That's right. Gay, straight, it don't matter.
Just come, dance, and have a good time.
That's what the house music was founded on. That's what it started.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was like,
All right.
that is what the whole purpose of house music was. It was to bring unified the people of Chicago and take that unity worldwide, which they did.
Yes.
So thank you for the founders of house music again. I know we lost a fellow DJ earlier this week.
DJ Ronnie?
Yes. And condolences to his family and friends on his loss. It's sad that we lose anybody in our community, but as DJs and producers, our community is very tight here in Chicago, for those that didn't know. And to have a DJ producer not with us anymore, you know, that's always a tragic thing. So to those family and friends of DJ Ronnie, our condolences go out to you all, and keep your heads up, because you know what, DJ Ronnie wanted to make sure house music was played all over the place, and you know, we just got to keep that dream alive, you know.
I agree with you. All right, guys, stick around for more to come. Now, when we come back from our commercial break, you guys are going to be hearing Sean Smith, the smooth agent, right here, throwing down on the Booth Radio 312, broadcasting on WIT 88.9 FM, DaBooth312.com, and, of course, Groove Parlor Radio.
You wrap your arms around me. You say you'll be right here. Yeah, you made me that promise. But like everything, times change. Minutes feel just like an hour. Then they're gone again. But still I'm sitting here, wishing you'll come back, but you're gone. Still I'm sitting here in slow motion, 'cause I'm having this feeling for far too long. Tell me that you're here, going nowhere, but back in my eyes. Back in my whenever I feel lonely, dream of days with you by my side. I had someone to hold on to, but just like everything, people change. Feelings flow just like the ocean, and then they're gone again. Still I'm sitting here, wishing you'll come back, but you're gone. Still I'm sitting here in slow motion, 'cause I'm having this feeling for far too long. Tell me that you're here, going nowhere, but back in my eyes. Back in my
Paying for insurance may not be on your favorites list, but paying more to cover the cost of insurance fraud only adds to the frustration. Some people cheat their insurance companies a little, exaggerating a claim or adding to the items that were supposedly stolen when the car was broken into. But some people make a living out of cheating insurance companies. For example, they stage auto accidents and claim injuries that never happened. They file phony workers' compensation claims to collect unearned wages and payments for medical bills. Or contractors intentionally do shoddy repair work after a storm, or no repairs at all, as long as they get paid up front. Most doctors, lawyers, and contractors are honest, but the dishonest ones look at insurance companies as easy targets and rip them off to the tune of billions of dollars every year. And guess who pays for their crimes? You do. Help us make them pay. Each year, we help law enforcement put hundreds of insurance fraudsters out of business. If you know something about insurance fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh.
For some people, difficult transitions like retirement, divorce, or loss of a loved one may contribute to feelings of hopelessness or even thoughts of suicide. The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who served our country, guys like me. Support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Learn how you can help at veteranscrisisline.net.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Today, we are together. We are unified and on one accord. And whenever we come together, the news media come, the writers write, the cameras roll, the politicians look at us, because together we got power. Apart we got powwow. That's just rapping. But when we are together, we got power, and we can make decisions. Today on this program you will hear gospel and rhythm and blues and jazz. All those are just labels. We know that music is music. All of our people got a soul. Our experience determines the texture, the taste, and the sound of our soul.
beat. You're gonna dance with me and need no feet. I wanna see you dance. You're gonna follow me. Please don't let me alone. Make up your mind. 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 I'm not the kind who's gonna use the phone.
Girl, you have just heard the sensuous black man take you on this heavy trip. We of the sensuous set want you to get the most out of life. We don't know what your man may be like, but we went around the signs. So we're gonna ask you to love the man that you got the most and give him the most of you. Be true to your own self and stick with what you got. We don't know when or how, but the sun will shine in your back door one day. No one knows how the beginning came about, and no one knows how the end will be. But while we are here, we of the sensuous set wish you beautiful, sweet, and pleasurable lover. We want to thank you.
Gonna love you till the end of time. I'm up in heaven's heights. I guess it's all because of you. I know this feels so right. 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 You're like a breath of inspiration. It's like the kiss of life. It's like the kiss of life. It's like the kiss of life. Your love kiss, your love kiss, your love kiss lifted me so high. Your love kiss lifted me so high. Your love kiss lifted me so high. It's just the way you do the things you do. Your love, it makes me weak. You're like a danger zone. You're like the sweetest melody. I know this feels so right. 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 You weave the magic spell. I'm up in heaven's heights. I guess it's, 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 I guess it's all because of you. It's just the way you do the things you do. My heart skips a beat. My heart makes my life a sing.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh. Keep on moving. Stop the crying. Moving. Keep on moving. Dancing. Music is the answer.
Hi, I'm Lourdes Stefan, host of Univision's Sal y Pimienta. Cancer treatment can steal your beauty, confidence, and self-esteem. It causes changes in your skin and your hair. But Look Good, Feel Better can help. Visit lookgoodfeelbetter.org to find a workshop in your area. Let us help you feel like you again.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is Fresh.
We're all part of your community.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe. So protect your every day.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. Don't forget, check us out on the dial, 88.9 FM in Chicago. Also, DaBooth312.com. And let's see, Groove Parlor. We're on Twitch. I don't know, we're about a million other places. Obviously, YouTube. We are looking to go back on Facebook. We'll see about that. We'll let you guys know soon whether or not we'll be going back on Facebook, doing the whole Facebook Live, videos. It's just that discrepancy with Facebook constantly cutting us off. We're tired of it, and we'll see if we can get that worked out, for you guys. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show so far. We've had Sean Smith, the smooth agent, throwing down for you guys. He did a great set. Sean, thank you again, man. Really.
No problem. Thank you.
I told you, besides the fact that he's a Sox fan, he played some great tracks. This man's always welcome back on the show. He did a really good job. So, we're so happy to have him here. Ron, you wanted to let some people know about some things, so go ahead, man.
Well, tonight, for those that don't have to work early in the morning, which I do, on Monday.
Same here.
If you are looking to get into something tonight, I'm going to tell you right now, there's an awesome, if you haven't heard about this party, and it just popped up in my news feed earlier this morning, Mike Dunn from The Chosen Few and a good friend of mine, Jamie 326, has come back home to Chicago. Both Mike Dunn and Jamie 326 are going to be throwing down tonight at Renaissance. I don't have the address right now, but you can look it up. But it's going down tonight. I believe it starts at 9 p.m. till 2. So if you are looking to get into something, you don't have to work Monday morning, then come on out to Renaissance. Join me and a host of other house heads that are going to be coming out there to support both Mike Dunn and Jamie326. Welcome him back to Chicago. Like I said, that's going to go down at Renaissance tonight over there on King Drive, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, it's not the Renaissance Fair, right? Where we watch knights battling. And
No. And you eat a big old turkey leg. No.
Right, and get your tomato soup.
So that's going on tonight. I also want to throw out there, there is going to be another Night Grooves party thrown by yours truly, myself, with the help of Vincent R. from Triple Threat, my brother Triple Threat, as well as House 13 from
Blue Moon Media,
and our good friend David Britton, who I haven't seen in the chat room today, but we'll be throwing down April 13th at Xavier's. That's over on 4456 Southwestern Avenue. That's going to go April 13th. There's no cover. So
that's not a Friday, is it?
No, that's a Saturday.
Okay. So you know how some people are scared about
we ain't doing
Friday
no
the 13th coming out. There's no worry.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
All those
the 13th.
superstitious people, you know.
So that'll be on Saturday, April 13th. The weather's getting warm, y'all. Come on out, support. The music, if you missed the last one, was on point from all DJs. And we're going to be starting to bring some special guests in for the following parties. So please come on out, support. And we have our guest that has a promo. He's doing some stuff at a spot every Wednesday night. Want to talk about that right quick, Sean?
Sure. Yeah, I play at Mr. Brown's Lounge. Our night is called Real House Wednesdays with Sean Smith, the Smooth Agent, and Jody Presser. And Mr. Brown's Lounge is 2301 West Chicago. And it's no cover. We start at 7 p.m. and we go to midnight.
All right, 7 p.m. to midnight, no cover. And my friend, I'm looking for the exact date here, if I could pull it up. My friend Randall Dean is doing his circle party, which I played at. If those that didn't see it before, there's a video that Randall Dean had me in from that circle party. And I'm trying to pull up the date, and something's going on with this computer. We'll get that date posted soon. But circle party, wow, this computer's moving on its own. It's possessed. Okay. Well, we'll have that date for you next. But Rob, what you got coming up soon?
Right now, I don't have a lot of things planned. I can't talk about some of the stuff that we're doing. Just can't release it just yet. But definitely working on a lot of things and in talks with a lot of different places. We are looking at a couple locations for a residency spot for the DaBooth312. So we're looking into that and see what works out for us. We got to make sure we find the prime location. But other than that, you know, not much else. Just working, man. That's all we do is keep grinding. Hey, you know, real quick about, you know, all these people talking about the, you know, kids getting into schools because parents are paying into this and that. Another one just came out was about Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's daughter got into USC, and that was a big, you know, ups for his daughter getting into USC years after a $70 million donation. I wonder if that's the reason she got in, or if she got in on her own scholars and honors. So I was just curious about that. But, you know, this is nothing new. It's been going on for years. And I'm not saying it's right. Trust me, I'm not saying it's right. But, you know, it's just definitely a lot of people have been doing it. If you got the money, you get...
well, some of those folks are looking at jail time coming up, too.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Dr. Dre.
Well, you got the U.S. Attorney General is already pushing for criminal charges. They announced that on Thursday. And a couple of the actors who paid their money for their kids to get their SATs done were being questioned, and people right now are scared. They're really scared because they're looking at possible jail time for this.
Oh, yeah.
And what's funny is this has been going on for millennia. So it just got exposed because of one person. But they've been doing it for the longest. If you had the money and you are that elite, you were already doing it. And you know, it's nothing new.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I don't side with it. I don't believe it's right. There's so many children out there that really deserve to go, you know, and they may not be able to financially afford it.
Right.
You know, I got to admit, when I first started going to college, My family was making enough money to where I couldn't get any assistance, but my family wasn't giving me no money. Just because they had the money doesn't mean I was seeing the money.
Right.
And I had to work hard to pay for my
Crush
school.
them cans.
You know, exactly. I had to do what I had to do. I was getting no assistance in no way. But just because my family was making money, then so be it. But I had a friend that his parents were making great money, and he was still able to go to school. And on top of it, he was able to get assistance on top of that. Well, so, I mean,
Well,
what can I say?
everybody has their journey in life. Some people get some hooked up breaks. Some people hooky. Some people get a hooked up break or a couple of breaks. Other people are continuously on the grind from birth.
As Kurt
it
used to say, these are the breaks.
It's whatever the universe puts out there for us in our paths. But real quick, I got that information for the Circle Dance and Flow, hosted by Randall Dean. That's going April 3rd at Estate. And that address is 1177 North Elston Avenue, 1177 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. It is no cover. They have dance instructors there. If you go on my page, I'm going to repost that video. If you go on my Facebook page, there's a video, awesome video that they had a videographer make, and I wasn't even aware of it. I'm at the very end of the video, and I was thanking Randall, like, wow, I didn't even know I was in the video. But there is an awesome video. They have people that could teach you, they have the folks that use the hula hoops and some of the twirling devices that you see people light on fire. They didn't have the fire lit, of course, because it was indoors, but they have the twirlers, they have the jugglers, they have hula hoop instructors. You can learn all that stuff if that stuff interests you, or you just want to come and watch and listen to some awesome house music. You're going to have CZ Boogie, who's been a guest here at the booth. And she's she's the owner and founder of her magazine, Vibe Magazine. So she's going to be there, and she was there last time. And big ups to her and Randall Dean for throwing such an awesome get together that Wednesday that I played there. So their event is April 3rd, and it starts at 9 p.m. till 2:30. So go over to Estate. You can check out my man Sean Smith over there at his spot on Wednesdays. So there's a lot going on in the Chicagoland area, and it's just growing and growing and growing. As we get warmer weather, the outdoor festivals are starting to come out. They're already talking about Lollapalooza tickets being sold already. They've already announced who the headliners are for Summer Dance. They didn't put out the whole lineup though, which I was looking for that. But there's a
Music
lot.
Alliance Festival
Music
coming
Alliance,
up. We got
yes.
Taco Tamale Fest coming up.
You got Montrose Beach Bash
coming up.
We got so much going on in Chicago. Compared to some of the other cities around the nation, this is where you want to be at in the summer. Like, granted, we had negative 53-degree weather, and we're going to have probably positive 100-degree weather this summer. But no matter how hot it gets, the house music's on its flow. So
just makes it hotter.
There you go. And we keep it alive right here on the booth, 312, 88.9 FM, WIT, for the best sounds in the underground. I had to pause. I put that pause in there. Rob does it best. But, speaking of Rob, Rob's going to get ready to get on the ones and twos and throw down for us. It's been a little while. And, looking forward to hearing what he's going to be. What do you have planned for us? Do you know?
I think I'm going to keep you all jacking.
Okay. Well, Sean, the smooth agent, laid down the foundation. Rob's about to go and just roll down that yellow brick road.
Just don't call me Dorothy.
Please do not click your high heel shoes either. But, I want to take a time also to give a shout out to our good friend Peace RTG. Peace RTG, Scooter B, Box, and Coco. Those were the guys that played at the Ascension party that I attended on Friday night, this past Friday. And if you weren't there, oh my goodness, you missed.
You should have been. If you weren't there, then you should have been over in Berwyn at Angie's Lounge, supporting me and Beto and Classic Crow. We were throwing down over there. So if you weren't in either one, and you just
Shame
weren't
on
doing
you.
nothing.
You missed out. Oh my goodness, you missed out on an awesome underground house party thrown by those guys. Like I said, I'm good friends with Peace RTG. Got a chance to meet Lil Jon, which I had never met Lil Jon, but was looking forward to meeting Lil Jon. He's a legend here in Chicago. If you don't know who he is, everybody knows who Lil Jon is. But that was my first time meeting Lil Jon. Big ups to DJ Alicia, for showing me some love while I was there. Had a great time. I stayed from the beginning to the end, and the music was on point. On point. So the next Ascension party, y'all got to hit me up. Let me know where it's at. I will be there. I give you my word on that, unless I'm playing somewhere. But yeah, those guys all tore it up. The music was just on fire from the time I walked in there to the time I left. So big ups to them. If you don't know who Peace RTG is, he's affiliated with the Mikasa holiday. That man is an awesome guy, awesome person. Him and Kim, awesome people. So be looking for another Ascension party coming soon. So with that being said, we're gonna get into the tunes and let Rob RTW get ready on the ones and twos. We're gonna play some tunes for a little while, and then at the 30-minute mark, we're gonna get into a mix with RTW on DaBooth 312, WIT for the best sounds of the underground in Chicago.
dance floor activation. Activation complete. 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 Until dance floor termination. Activation complete. Activation complete. Activation complete. Activation complete. Temporal disturbance detected.
Where am I?
Dance floor is now active.
You know, it's just funny, man, because, like, we grew up making this music because we loved it, man. It's our culture, you know, it's embedded in us. We had no intention of, like, changing the sound and making it commercial or doing anything to it. We just wanted it to be raw, and we wanted to get our point across. You know, we felt that coming from the birthplace of house in Chicago, that, you know, we all had just many different ideologies on what we felt, how we wanted to get people to dance, you know, on our dance floor during the parties, you know, from, like, growing up listening to Lil Louis, DJ Pierre, you know, all these cats, Hardy and Frankie, you know, and Larry Heard. We just wanted to be, you know, different and relevant to the times of where we came from. We didn't really want to, like, change what we was doing, and we didn't really want to sell it out to the majors. At the same time, we wanted to profit from our hard work and labors. And, you know, through time, many cats have been trying to take our style and change it and call it different names, and, you know, and you just really can't replace the realness of what we set out to do. You know, you can try to change the name and put money behind it and do like what you did to, like, jazz and hip hop, and what you did to rock music, and, you know, everything that we have created in time. But you always still keep coming back to Chicago and Detroit, the real raw essence of house. No matter how simple the bass lines may be, it's what makes people dance on the floor, and the rhythms are melodic.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
You're in the mix. DJ RTW, the boot mix 6.
I can't get no sleep.
the storm. Riders on the storm. Big A long holiday. Riders on the storm.
Hey, that is RTW on the ones and twos. Just want to hit you up and say thank you all for tuning in each and every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please share the show. You can catch us live on YouTube and Ustream and about 15 other different sites. I'll have the list for you. But come back to us next week. We're going to have some more special guests on and a lot of house music to play for your listening enjoyment. I want to thank our guest again, Sean Smith, the smooth agent, for coming through and joining us. And, do you have any parting words for our fans out there?
Keep it going. Keep the house music alive. That's all I gotta say. Keep the house music alive. Don't let nothing stop you from doing what you do.
Amen. Thank you for Sean Smith and his wife coming in and gracing our presence today. Hey, we're going to get up out of here. Have a great week. God bless everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. I was going to say next Saturday. Next Sunday right here, DaBooth312, 88.9 WIT for the best sounds in underground. Have a good week.
Introducing a new day of the week. It's called Someday. Now, everything you were going to do someday is on the calendar. Want to retire someday? You'll want a My Social Security account to help you get ready. Get yours at socialsecurity.gov.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.